Since I got myself a devil forge, figured I'd go ahead and do a copper bar pour for you guys today. I actually even painted it with that ceramic coating to make that fire cloth to last a lot longer. I tested it out last night. I poured a new bar in one of my cast iron molds and I haven't polished it yet. This is actually what it came out like right out of the mold. So pretty excited about that. It's sitting there. We got a bar. And now today I've got a bunch of this copper wire. I've already put some of my old copper wire in here. It's not as nice as this other copper wire, but figured I'd go ahead and get another pour done and record it. I also got some of this engine copper here that I'm gonna use, or like fan motor copper, that I'm gonna put in there once this melts down. This will actually end up being a 27 ounce, and I put it in this one, and I didn't quite get it to the top. I was a little bit short. I wanted it to be a 2-pounder, but we were just under. To any extent, I think I've chit-chatted long enough. Let me get this crucible inside here. We'll get it lit and have some fun. Use a little borax anytime you melt copper because there'll be some impurities in there. So we'll add a little bit of it into some tin foil, which you'll see later on. Actually helps clean all the impurities out. You can see it working its magic now. So it's ready to stir and skim off all the dross. Not too bad. Take that all day. Put a little tin foil into this one, or aluminum foil, see what happens. Make it a little more gold color this time. A little more borax in there. That one didn't come out too bad. We'll have to see what that one looks like after it gets quenched. Let that cool down just a little bit more before I dump it and flip it. Make sure it's all sealed up. Looks like it is though. Be pretty excited about this one. Now this is the one that I added aluminum foil to, compared to those being mostly 99% copper. Obviously we had that ball of borax that had some tin foil or aluminum foil in it, so it's not a pure mix, but it's close enough. This one does have a little more foil that you saw me add. I've got a nice crevice here though. I see that there's a hole in this one. That's kind of a bummer. All right, it's gonna be hot. Let's flip it. There you go. Looks like it's a pretty good bar though. Let's quench it. Boiling that water. Should have added more ice. That is still a hot bar, but I got my fire gloves on, so I should be able to handle it okay. You can see it's got more of a gold tone to it versus that pink copper color. I could have added more foil, made it even more gold color, but it'll polish up nice. And as you can see, it's got that crater like I was talking about in it, but that's on the bottom. So that's a pretty good bar. Man, that's heavy too. Next step is, I gotta do a quick polishing on these and we'll see how they go. Not bad. So as you saw, I just did a really rough polishing. I'm not trying to make these mirrored bars just yet. I don't have all the equipment like a bench vise. I don't have a lot of the sanding stuff that you would need. I do have some of the items, but that takes a lot of time and I've got other things to work on today. That being said, I wanted to give you a look at these bars. Not too shabby. A little bit of holes on this one. It happens. Probably could have skimmed it a little better. On the second one, a little bit of an indentation, but I'll take it. It'll still clean up nice if I were to make it a polished mirrored finish. Came out pretty good overall. I like to leave the bottoms ugly and unfinished anyway, so it doesn't really matter. This is the one I poured yesterday to test it out. The one I poured today was a little bit bigger. And then the final one where we added a little bit of aluminum, and you can see the color is a little bit lighter than copper. And if you look at the front, You can see it's got kind of a goldish tone to it. If I were to polish this smooth, you would see a lot more of the color variance compared to copper. Now, I only added a few percentage of aluminum to this. If I were to add it a lot more, it would have come out a lot more golden. Matter of fact, I have another pour that I'll show you that actually has about 5% aluminum, and you'll see the difference. So here's the one that has about 5, maybe 6%. I didn't do the science too well or the math too well, but at the end of the day, look at the difference in color. Very cool. When you add 95% copper to 5% aluminum and you weigh it out, it looks about like that. This might have been a little bit less than 2%, but either way, it did have some. Pretty happy overall. Let me get a weigh up on these guys and see how much they weigh. So I've got my scale set to troy ounces. Yesterday's pour, I believe, was 26.4. Yeah, 26.33, so call it 26.3. The first pour today should be a little bit heavier than that. 28.46 troy ounces. And then the final pour, 29.97 troy ounces. Let's turn that into grams and see what we got here. 932.2 grams. Not quite a kilo. We were a little bit short. Had I poured it more smooth and filled up the middle and made it not so bowed and it was perfectly poured, that would have been a 1 kilo, almost pure copper bar. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my first time videotaping and pouring with the Devil Forge. I had a lot of fun. It sure makes it a lot more easier than the electrical ones. The temperature gets up a lot hotter, and once you have it up to temperature, you can pour several pours pretty quickly. I think the first one took me about 25 minutes to get up to temperature, and once I poured the first one, it took me about 15 minutes tops on the second one, and the melting point was reduced by some. Either way, I do plan on making another Nordic gold, if you will, copper bar, aluminum bar in the future. If you guys enjoyed this copper pouring video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. If you want to see more like this, please put it in the comments down below. And as always, happy pouring, happy hunting, and thanks for watching.